Now, Chris, fair to say you're a fan of the previous generation Fiesta ST?
It was a great car, wasn't it? It sort of removed all its rivals from the marketplace. It was so successful, I think most brands don't even want to try and compete with it.
No. So how relieved were you to find out that Ford hadn't cocked it up?
I didn't think they would, so there wasn't really a great sense of relief because Ford is very good at making fast cars and small fast cars. I think the main sense of relief was that this downsizing engine to 3 cylinders hasn't spoilt the car.
Yeah.
It's not perfect. These 3-cylinder engines, the way that they have an inherent sort of imbalance in them, so they have to run quite a heavy flywheel and quite a lot of crank weight as well. So they have a heavy flywheel effect, and that is a posh way of saying when you rev the bugger out, the revs drop quite slowly.
Sure. And in a hot hatch, you kind of want it pinging up and down.
So it's a bit of a mismatch in character. The rest of the car's quite sort of up on its toes, agile, moving quickly, and then this is. It sort of slows things down a bit.
So just to recap, it's 1.5 litre, 200 horsepower, give or take, 3-cylinder engine, turbocharged, of course. What does it sound like? What does it feel like? Is it quick?
It's a great noise. It's a great noise. It's half a 911, isn't it? Yeah. So weirdly, because it's a multiple of 3, it sounds more expensive than a 4. So the crazy thing is that it's downsized. But it actually sounds more expensive than the previous engine. Because you feel like you're in a Golf VR6. Remember when you had a Golf VR6 or a Golf R32 versus the GTR? That noise of the 6-cylinder engine coming through the bulkhead, through the scuttle, made it feel more expensive, and that's what happens with this car.
I wonder how many people follow suit. Peugeot 208 GTIs and all the other rivals.
It's inevitable, isn't it?
They'll do it.
And it's got the way that you can configure the functions in it. You can go to a sport or a track mode, and in sport, it bangs and pops beautifully. There's a lot of noise on the overrun. It sounds great. Listen to those bangs and pops.
And what about the handling? I assume you're cocking some wheels.
It's a different feeling chassis. I think it's more aggressive than before. They've got a cleverly shaped spring at the back, which effectively behaves like a progressive spring. Okay. So as you put more load on the spring, the shape of it means that the spring rate increases and ramps up according to the load that you put in it. But the beam is very, very thick. Technically, the rear beam, the torsion beam, is very, very thick diameter. In fact, I think it's the thickest diameter beam that ever fitted to a car. So the back of the car's got loads of support. Which means that the car is quite aggressive. If the back tyres are cold, it's quite leery. And that means that you've got to get some temperature into these. So I filmed it when it was 8 degrees. A couple of times you'd pitch it in, lift off and go, whoa! So this is proper 205 GTI leery rear end type car.
All right, well, we'll come back to classics and where it stands in that thing. The Aventador S, that was our generic supercar in this story. Are you quite serious that you'd rather drive one of these over one of these on a Welsh B road?
I don't have any great enjoyment driving that car in the UK. I don't like driving it in town. I don't want to be seen in it. I think it's a pain. I worry. Worry is not a great component of enjoying driving.
What are you worrying about? You're worrying about...
I'm worrying about the width of it. I'm worried about clipping a wheel. I'm worried about people spitting on it, throwing stuff at it, opening their door on it. I just don't want to be there.
Whereas this, you're just tonking around everywhere.
All I'm thinking about is enjoying driving in this. So no, I don't want to be in that. On a B road, it's too wide, it's too firm, the gearbox is terrible, the engine sounds fantastic, and I love the way it looks.
So you like it then?
There's bits of the car that I think are fantastic. I still think it's a great looking car, and that's 80% of what a car like that needs to do.
Pulled it back very nicely at the end there. Which brings us back to the Fiesta. Where does it stand? I know you're a big hot hatch fan, especially small hatches. They tend to be French, the ones you like. But where does it stand then in the pantheon of greats?
It's difficult to say because it's so much heavier than the old cars, so it doesn't drive like them. But certainly, as a small hot hatch, I don't think it has a rival at the moment. I don't think there is. I know the Polo's pretty handy. This Up GTI that everyone's got very frothy about.
Aren't they?
I don't really get the Up. I mean, if this suffers from a laggy 3-cylinder engine, that Up engine, I mean, you rev it once and then you can have a cup of tea and wait for the needle to come back down again. So this is a great piece of work. It's expensive. I know that. But I think you'll see lots of them on the roads, especially in Essex.